A man condemned to die. His last wish was simple, to see his dog one final time. But when the prison gates opened and the dog ran to him, what happened next shocked everyone. Stay with me because this isn't the ending you expect. The walls of the prison had heard countless cries, but that night it was silent. Daniel sat alone in his cell, staring at the cracks in the concrete. Tomorrow morning he would walk the last walk, shackled, watched, and silenced forever. He wasn't afraid of death anymore. What haunted him was regret. Not for the crime, because in his heart he knew he hadn't done it. What haunted him was the life he lost, the faces of those who once trusted him, and the one soul that had never judged him. Max, his golden retriever. Daniel whispered in the dark, "I just want to see him. One last time." When the warden asked for his final request, Daniel didn't ask for steak or wine or forgiveness. He asked for Max. The request startled the guards. Prisoners usually begged for food or to hear music or to see family. A dog, that was unusual. The warden hesitated, but something in Daniel's voice wasn't a plea of a criminal. It was the plea of a broken man clinging to the last thread of love he knew. After hours of debate, they granted it. That night, under the dim prison lights, Max was brought in. The second Daniel saw him, his world shattered. Max barked, whined, and lunged forward, his paws scraping the floor until he reached his master. Daniel fell to his knees, chains clattering as Max leapt into his arms. For the first time in years, Daniel cried freely. Tears soaked Max's fur as the dog licked his face, tail wagging furiously as if the years of absence never existed. Guards stood frozen, some blinking away tears. Hardened men who had seen killers, liars, and thieves suddenly felt the purity of a dog's love. But then, something strange happened. Max stiffened. His ears shot up. His tail stopped wagging. Slowly, he turned his head toward a man leaning against the wall, one of the senior guards. His lips curled. A low growl rumbled from his throat. The room went tense. Dogs don't lie. They don't fake loyalty, and they don't growl without reason. The guard shifted uncomfortably, muttering, "It's just a dog." But Max barked louder, pulling away from Daniel's grip, standing protectively in front of him. His eyes locked on that guard. It was a sound not of anger, but recognition. The warden ordered the guard out of the room, but whispers spread quickly. Why would Max react that way? Daniel's execution was hours away, yet doubt had been planted. That night, the warden stayed in his office, pacing. Something gnawed at him. He had overseen hundreds of executions, but never once had a last wish turned into something so unsettling. Finally, he made a call. The evidence box from Daniel's case was reopened, files were pulled, fingerprints rechecked, testimonies reread. For years, everyone had believed Daniel guilty because of circumstantial evidence, but buried in the details, overlooked in the rush of the trial, were inconsistencies. The scent Max had reacted to? A unique cologne brand. The same one noted in witness statements the night of the crime. The same one Daniel had never worn. And the guard. He'd testified as a witness, claiming he saw Daniel fleeing the scene. But his timeline didn't match. The truth was slowly unraveling. Hours before Daniel's scheduled execution, the warden stormed into the chamber, keys rattling in his hands. He unlocked Daniel's cuffs himself, his voice breaking. "Daniel, you're not the one who should be here. We found enough to halt your execution." The prison fell into chaos. The guard who Max had growled at tried to deny everything, but the evidence and the dog's recognition betrayed him. He was arrested on the spot. Daniel's world flipped. Yesterday he was a dead man walking. Today he was a free man, alive because of the loyalty of a dog. As Daniel walked through the prison gates, Max at his side, he didn't feel bitterness. He didn't seek revenge. He felt gratitude. Gratitude for the dog who never gave up on him. Max had waited for years, never knowing if Daniel would return, and when he finally saw him again, he not only gave him love, he gave him justice. That day, Daniel didn't just walk out of prison, he walked into a second chance at life. And as the sun rose behind them, Daniel whispered to Max, "You saved me, boy. You always did." Because sometimes a last wish isn't just a goodbye. Sometimes it's the miracle that rewrites destiny.